Welcome to NEXTGames' Intense Ambuscade series, December 2024, against Mamool Ja. Now this month's run can be taken on several ways, so I'd like to share some of those strategies today, and you can pick the one that you think is most effective for your current job and gearing level. First though, key item acquisition. For your first run of the day, you need one Mamool Ja kill, and for multiple runs in the same day, you will need 3. Now you can easily get those by using Home Point Warp to Baflau Thicket's Home Point number 1. Where you can find many nearby enemies that should be able to get your key item on. Now, on to the run itself, which is against several Mamool Ja. Now how many you take on depends on the difficulty you're taking it on with. Now on the very easy difficulty, you're only going to take on 3. On easy 4, and on normal and above, there will be 6 on the battlefield. Now each enemy will correspond to a different element, and will cast strong spells of that element, both Ga spells and AM spells. Now if you use a skill chain or spell that corresponds with that enemy's element, you're going to cure them for massive amounts of health. So you need to stay away from using darkness skill chains on blue Mamools and light skill chains on red. Now keep in mind that as you kill Mamool during this run, each one killed will increase the strength of the rest of the group, meaning the final Mamool will definitely be the most challenging to take on and the one that has the hardest hitting abilities and spells. Make sure you plan this in regards to which enemies you leave for the end and which ones you take out right there at the start. Now you can sleep them pretty easily with Sleep or Lullaby, so be sure to use that to your advantage with your strategy. You can also silence them to stop them from casting, but if they are silenced, when they use their SP ability, they're going to use Mijin Galcree instead of Mana Font and kill everyone in range, so you want to wait until after the use of the SP ability and then silence them immediately, and then kill the one that you're currently fighting that has just used Mana Font. Now in regards to how to take this month's run on, in the previous years I've shown you how to take it on solo using the Black Mage Subjob with Ninja on the easy difficulty to continually sleep the adds until it's time to kill them. I've also shown how to use Red Mage to use Sleep and Silence to your advantage to defeat it on the normal difficulty solo. Now I have links to both of those videos in the comment section in case you're interested in trying those strategies. Today though, I went with 3 new strategies. First is what you're seeing me do right now on Ninja. Now in this example, I'm using the Red Mage Subjob to silence the enemies right after they use their SP ability, and I'm not really bothering with Sleep at all. You need to have a high amount of magic accuracy to reliably silence these enemies, but if timed right, it makes for a very easy 4 to 5 minute run as you're seeing here. Now since I'm not sleeping the enemies, I'm using Arc TT to sleep the extra Mamool during the fight, and if I want, I could of course sleep them as well with my Red Mage Subjob, but frankly it just slows the run down, so in the interest of speed I only worry about silencing them after their SP abilities with this strategy. Now what if you don't have access to a mage main or subjob to silence and sleep these adds, and main mobs? Well, that's where my 2 additional battle examples come in that you'll see during this video. The second battle example is going to show you on Dragoon, where I am simply trying to take out all the Mamool as quickly as possible with darkness skill chains. Now I obviously am slowed at the start of the fight when I can't perform any darkness skill chains on that one blue Mamool without curing them, but other than that the other 3 go very quickly, so you want to start with that blue one so that you don't waste the time when they're more powerful later in the run on the blue one, which takes you longer to defeat. Now the main risk with this strategy is that the tank almost always died on the final Mamool, and if you aren't quick enough, you can easily die as well. Now this strategy is quite risky, but easily leads to the fastest runs in that 2 to 3 minute range. Now if you're a melee player this month, and you want to risk it, you may need to go with a strategy such as this. Now use your job's tools to buy yourself time during the final and most difficult enemy. I use Leg Sweep for instance in my Dragoon battle example to try and stun them at the end to buy myself time to finish them off. Make sure you bring plenty of healing Trust with this strategy, including Trust who can do math heals such as Arcelia and Sethus. Now likewise, if you're a new or returning player, you may have access to Ninja but not the Mage Subjob. That's where my third battle example comes in. It's going to show you me taking this much run on using Ambuscade gear and weapons only with no gear swaps, add-ins, or plugins. Now with this in mind, I go with a healing heavy Trust setup of Sethus, Arcelia, Ulmia, Kupipi, and Yoran. Now no sleep or silence is used at all during this run, and due to the slower pace of the run, it's a much more reliable strategy than the Zerg method shown with Dragoon, at the expense of course, time. This run takes me 3 times the length of that Dragoon run to complete, but as you will see, it is much less risky when it comes to the amount of damage you and your party are going to take in short periods of time. Now you will have to determine which of these 5 solo strategies that I've presented with you over the last few years is going to work for you. Now if you're a returning player this month, be sure to try these strategies on the very easy difficulty first before moving on to easy and seeing if you can replicate these same methods there. Now if you want to take it on the difficult and very difficult difficulties this month, what are you looking at? Well, most party setups are going to include a very solid tank, a red mage for silence and sleep, a white mage for healing and bar spells for the current element of the enemy you're fighting, a bard or corsair for additional buffs, and 2 damage dealers. Now everyone must sub Ninja and keep shadows up at all times during this fight, as there are many spells and abilities that can one-shot people during this fight as it goes on. Care must be used to not heal the enemies, so some deal with this by simply spamming Savage Blade, and others will come up with specific weapon skill and skill chain combinations to use on each type or color of Mamool. Now the red mage needs to keep all of the Mamool sleeping and silence the current one you're fighting as soon as the SP ability is used. Consider not silencing the last enemy or 2 though during their SP ability usage, as the physical attacks of the enemy, especially when you've already killed 4 of them, can be quite devastating by that point. If so, you'll want to take appropriate measures for any of the DD in range to make sure that they aren't wiped out by Gospels while the use of Manta Font is occurring. That's about all I have to share for this month's run. Much easier month than the previous few, so that should help some out who have been needing gallantry and hallmarks. Enjoy the rest of the battle examples and have a great month everyone. We'll see you back here in 2025.